Okay, so here we are, part 2 of the Arslan Musou overview. Now I'm going to talk about one of the unique mechanics, the charge shift mechanic. The charge shift mechanic works by when you do a charge attack like square triangle and you press R1, you will weapon switch, but you'll only weapon switch temporarily. After you finish the string, you will switch back to the weapon you started with. Now what you can do when you weapon switch is you can either continue pressing square and just doing a normal square string, or you can press triangle again to do another heavy attack, and then you can even R1 that to continue doing full. So you can basically keep cycling through charges. So you just press R1 triangle, R1 triangle, R1 triangle, and so on. Now you can mash it, and with some characters it will work, just like mashing R1 and triangle, but some characters require timing, and some strings don't always function if you cancel them immediately. Like you can cancel, like let's say I can cancel square, 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 triangle on the first hit, or I can cancel it on the second hit. So that's pretty important to know the timings, the different properties of the moves if you want to actually get good follow-ups. There are a couple of characters in the game that can charge shift pretty autopilot and just kind of mash their way through their strings and everything will connect. But there's also a lot of characters where it takes a lot of precision and knowledge of what moves work where. Especially like, let's say with bow users. Bows are usually, characters with bows also have a melee weapon, and incorporating long range and close range charge shift follow-ups is very tricky. It requires very good knowledge and understanding of how your moves work to get a proper follow-up, because if you just kind of mash through it, you're not going to get a very desirable result. Okay, so now I have some special bar. I'm gonna run up here and just do my special. You simply press circle to do your special. Each character has one special. Arslan does have 2 specials, but he can only use one at a time, which you'll select on the character select screen. Specials in this game are very simple and straightforward. They're good crowd control and damage tools. They don't usually have there are some that are like grabs. There are some that are just straight up physical attacks. And in some cases, like Faringus, hers will give her like a buff to her arrow attacks temporarily after using hers. But for the most part, the specials are very, very simple and straightforward. Just really powerful attacks. Okay, so as you see right here, I'm fighting a boss. The way fighting bosses works in this game is very different and interesting from other Musou games because there's a shield mechanic. And basically, I'm gonna let him regenerate his shield. The shield mechanic prevents all damage and stagger until you deplete it. So you can hit him, but he won't stagger, he won't take any actual damage, but you can see the shield over his health bar depleting. Now, what you're going to want to do to help break the shield quicker and deal more damage to bosses is dodge their attacks. So when you can see the blue aura around them and you dodge, you get the slow motion effect. And any attack you do, it basically has like double or triple power. I don't know the exact modifier, but your shield breaking and damage output on bosses becomes significantly higher during that time when you're in the slow motion effect. So it's very important to kind of, like when you're fighting the enemy with their shield up, you want to look for that blue aura and just dodge through them. The dodge doesn't have to be like super specific or precise, just simply dodging through them. You can kind of, it's kind of weird how it works. You can kind of dodge away, or you can dodge through them, or you can dodge to the side if you want. You just kind of have to be right in front of them whenever you do it. That's the only real requirement, is to make sure you're directly facing in front of them. So from there, once you break the shield, they will pretty much go into a dizzy state, or they will go into a dizzy state, and you have a temporary amount of time to pull a combo off. Now, the kind of combos you can do to them during this, you don't want to usually do a super long combo. For the most part, you want to try to do something that gets to a charge shift finisher quickly, because charge shift finishers deal a ton of damage. So maybe you just want to do something kind of simple like square, triangle, R1, and then get to the end of your string to do the charge shift finisher. That's one of the really easy ways to combo bosses and defeat them quickly, is by just doing a quick charge shift to a finisher without doing multiple charge shifts in between your combo. But that all just that comes with experience and understanding and what you're looking to do. Because one thing about the charge shift mechanic is it gives you increased drop rate and increased experience points when utilizing it. So you know, the better you can do, like the better charge shift combos you can do, and to ensure you get the finishers with them, the more experience you're gonna get, and the better card drops you're gonna get. So you can kind of judge the best way to go about performing charge shift combos, but generally you don't want to do like a really crazy elaborate one against the boss. You just kind of want to condense it to something that you know is going to work. Okay, so right now I'm on the horse. What you can do on the horse is the standard square string, and you can press triangle. When you press triangle once, you will go into a run stance. You can either just use this to simply move faster, or if you press triangle again, you'll get a heavy attack. So this is a very multi-purpose. This is moving quicker. This is for moving quicker, or for doing your heavy attack. Which your heavy attack is pretty much the only way you should fight on the horse. The square string is really, really bad. I mean, unless you are really strong and can one-shot enemies with your square string, it's usually not worth it. It's usually better to use the heavy attacks, the charge attacks, because they will usually kill enemies and they'll knock them into other enemies. Okay, so now I'm going to show another unique feature in this game. This next feature is kind of a gimmick. It's a stage gimmick. It's not like super deep or anything. It just kind of aids in the progression and gives you like a little mini game in between the stage. So basically this particular one, you just go into a horse formation and you can run around and you can kind of just run straight to the light over there, which will complete the objective with it, or you can go around and defeat a bunch of enemies, which sometimes you'll have to do to get rare cards, or you know, you can farm experience and KOs by doing that. And the way the timer works is it depletes and it will restore a small amount at 5,000 chain and at 10,000 chain. After that, it won't refill anymore, and it maxes at 99,999. So basically, I'd say generally you want to aim to get the 10,000 chain at least, and then from there you can kind of milk the timer towards the end before you run into the objective. Or you can use it to help you do other stuff. It's not always going to be a horse formation. Sometimes it'll give you like an archery formation where you just move around a little cursor that shoots arrows. Or sometimes you'll actually be on foot and you can do like a little ranged attack and stuff like that. So each formation, there's a few different formations to mix it up, and they all function a little differently. But for the most part during them, you're just gonna use them to build up KOs easily and quickly and progress in the stage. Just to show one thing, you can actually switch your weapon order and your moveset in the middle of the map. This can all be switched freely. Let me talk about how the different movesets work. So let me kind of go somewhere, and then I'll showcase. So let's go with the sword. So we have square, triangle, square, square, triangle, square, 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 triangle, square, 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 triangle. So you saw all the charge attacks there. So now I'll switch the moveset, and you can kind of see how it mixes it up. It won't change every animation, but it will change some. And of course this has fire element on it. So that animation stayed the same. That one changed from the stab to that multi-hit combo. Square, 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 triangle. As you see, that one changed as well with a fire hit at the end. And then square, 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 triangle. So as you can see, it changed most of my charges. Or it just adds element to them if they stay the same. And let's check out this moveset. That stays the same. That's the same as the fire set. So for the most part, this one was the same as the fire set, except for like one move. And that's generally how it is. The fourth set is kind of usually the really fun set. It usually has multiple elements, and it kind of mixes maybe what they feel is the strongest moves from each set. So the fourth sets are generally some of the more fun ones to use, and of course they're the ones that the last ones you will unlock. So you can have fun mixing up the different movesets you have on each of your weapons to help you come up with different combo options and stuff like that. So there's a lot of freedom in how you can play one character and how you can customize a character to fit your style, which I think is really cool, you know, because everybody can play Arslan, but everybody may choose a different way to play him. They may put the weapons in a different order for different charge shift combos, or they may use different movesets that they prefer. And you can also manually switch the weapon simply by pressing left or right. That will permanently switch your weapon, unlike the charge shift, which is just a temporary weapon switch. That's pretty much it as far as the game and the mechanics. There's also an online mode. The online mode lets you play story and free mode online, and it's pretty solid. I think it's probably one of the best online modes Koei's done in their games. Unfortunately, very, very few people play it. I've only gotten like 3 or 4 online matches, but they all ran well. You can play whatever you want, story or free mode, any content. There's no restrictions on content like in stuff like One Piece. So it's a really cool feature. I'm hoping maybe once the game comes out in the US, it will get used a lot more, because I like it and I would definitely like to play it, but none of the Japanese players are really on it. You also have your gallery, encyclopedia stuff, just to see references to the show and different references to the source material and character models and things like that. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. See ya.